Hello and welcome to Matthew Reads, I guess. Today, I'm talking about 3 books I've already talked about on this channel. Yes, I have already talked about on this channel, but I wanted to, collect them all, not into, one video where I just, half talk about them. Also, ignore the red light on my neck. I got a new microphone because my last one was dying. But, I just wanted to talk about, GMMTV's, English translated novels sort of as a whole, and in my notes I've managed to bring up Heartstopper and Heated Rivalry, so there you go. But yeah, like I say, the context behind this video does exist. I am talking about GMMTV's 3 English translated novels that they've released, them being Last Twilight, The Heart Killers, and Tempo. For very brief context, GMMTV are a Thai entertainment company. I know they've been around for years and years in Thailand, but they're most internationally known for releasing BL series, basically boy kissing shows, and honestly, that's how I found out about them. And I think that's mainly down to the fact that they slap a lot of their shows just onto YouTube for free with English subtitles. So to be honest, their BL shows, a lot of them are very accessible. Dare You to Death, that as of me recording this is airing, is on Netflix just in the UK. I think the last GMMTV show that was on Netflix in the UK was Sotus, but that got taken off. Anyway, yeah, I am briefly going to be talking about the 3 books I mentioned already. Last Twilight, which I own 2 copies of, 1 in English and 1 in Thai. Again, I'm pretty sure I said this in the Last Twilight video. Can I read Thai? No. Do I understand Thai? No. I just liked the show that much. But for a brief summary of the plots of all 3 of the books, in Last Twilight, Day is a university athlete who starts losing his vision and needs a caretaker, who ends up being Mock, who has just gotten out of prison, and the 2 of them basically help the other one find their place in the world. Day helps Mock essentially find his own self-worth after being in prison and not being there when his sister took her own life. And Mock helps Day basically regain his independence now without his vision. The Heart Killers, Bison and Fidel are both hitmen. Kant is a police informant who just drags his bestie style into his own mess, trying to take these hitmen down. They all fall in love, boy kissing ensues. In Tempo, Poe has just broken up with his boyfriend because his boyfriend doesn't see him as his successful equal. Then Poe ends up taking this job at an entertainment company who works closely with this idol group Mars, Tem of which is the leader. And the 2 of them get together, but because Tem is an idol, idols aren't allowed to date, it all has to be hush-hush, drama ensues from there. Mars, famously played by Lycan famously coming to the UK in April, and I would very much like to go see them live. Anyway, like I say, I've made videos about all 3 of these GMMTV books. I don't have any of them with me because I've been reading other stuff. Hold on, let me get rid of my notes. You can see it go darker there. I can see the Thai version of Last Twilight is right there, that orange one, at the very end of that shelf, just above Bayonet and next to that little bird clip. And next to the Omega X poster, Stream If You Know You Know by Omega X. But yeah, one point I made in all of the videos about these books is that the translation of the books led to a not very great reading experience, since it felt like the translation was very literal or had just been run through our best friend Google Translate. You absolutely get the gist and the plot of all 3 of the books, but to me it felt like the majority of the soul and the voice and the character had been drained out of all of them. Something I know, once again, I will have mentioned in all 3 videos prior, is that, if you're reading a book that was published in its first language, say me reading a book in English, a French person reading a book that was originally French, you're going to understand and, pick up on the voice, the nuance, and like all of the like quirks of the language. Like a really good example in English, like first language, is that like I think sarcasm would show up really well, but I don't know how well it would show up or like translate into like a translation in another language, you know? But like the thing is, this kind of translation issue, I know it's not a GMMTV specific thing. Like, these 3 books that like I'm talking about, they are the only ones that GMMTV has like officially sold as like merch on their website. But like I'm just referring to my notes here, like I have read the English translated novels for Theory of Love, Together, Love Mechanics, and vice versa. And like while both Theory of Love and Love Mechanics, you can't see either of them. Theory of Love is out on a bookshelf outside of this room, and Love Mechanics is like on the bottom shelf. I mean, they're all like K-pop pickets, and they're on the shelf below there. Vice versa and Together were ebooks. Like all 4 of these novels that I've read, they had the exact same issue. Like, they just read as though they had been run through, like, Google Translate, or just, like, a machine to do it automatically. And I realised, like, out of all of these books that I'm on about, Love Mechanics is the only one that isn't a GMMTV show. And to be honest, I haven't actually watched the Love Mechanics show. I only, like, bought the book because I spotted it on eTie CD one day, and, like, I'd heard of the show. Like, that was literally it. But that one had the exact same issue as the others. And, like, just to go on the train of, like, English, I feel like everybody gags every time, like, English language BL, like, comes out. Like, I know there's definitely no shortage of, like, queer male-male romance books and content in English. Like, to be honest, just look at this channel, like, the majority of the books I have hello, you would not believe I have 2 English degrees. Call me Britney Spears with the way I low-key have a master's degree. But yeah, like, the majority of the books I've spoken, that I've spoken about on this channel, they have been, like, male romance. Ooh, I have a type in what I enjoy reading. But I feel like unless I have some kind of blinder on, like, it's so rare, like, compared to Asia, for specific queer romantic love stories to get, like, shows made about them. Like, I realise, once again, English language, like, queer love stories do exist, but I don't know, like, how specifically and often they get made. Like, say, because GMMTV, like, churns out BL shows, and I thank them for their service. When I say people gag, I feel like, think Heated Rivalry, you know, Red, White, Royal Blue, Love, Simon, and Heartstopper. They're, like, the main ones that I can think of as, like, BL that people gagged over. And I know that Alice Oseman, they would get mad at me for referring to Heartstopper as BL, because they went on that whole, well, it wasn't a rant, but they disparaged BL as a genre. But oh well, Heartstopper's still BL to me, because, sorry, it is. But, like, I do think, like, the Gagiana Grande, like, from the West is in part to the fact that, like, it happens, like, so, like, less frequently than it does in, like, or, like, from production companies in Asia. And, like, I know the ones that I mentioned, I'm sure the majority of them did come from, like, bigger companies. I know Love, Simon definitely did, because I think that was Warner, maybe? I don't know. I don't pay attention to movies enough. Then, obviously, Heartstopper was on Netflix, so that was going to be, like, massively accessible anyway, because, like, so many people have Netflix as it is. And I mean, there definitely are, like, movies, and I don't know so much about shows that will have been made by indie companies, but I feel like it's always a Western one that blows up. Although saying that, Love, Simon will always have a very large place in my heart, because it came out when I was in university, and did I go see it 3 times in cinemas? Yes, I did, and I would do it again. But yeah, part of this tangent was inspired by just, like, how massive Heated Rivalry had blown up. And, like, my view, like, I did not watch Heated Rivalry week by week as it was airing. My viewing of it was that I watched the first 2 episodes in one night, And then I think I maybe like didn't watch it for 2 weeks and then watched the other 4 episodes because I didn't realize it was only going to be 6 episodes. My experience with Thai BLs, because I watch so many more of those than like say Korea or Japan or Taiwan or the Philippines, I'm used to like 10 or 12 episodes of like a series. So like when it was episode 6 and like nothing else was coming out and everyone was on about the finale, I was like, oh, okay. Like, Heated Rivalry really said, here are 6 episodes. These 6 episodes are Latrice and they are the whole show. But also, with Heated Rivalry, I had not heard of the book prior to the show coming out. And then, like, looking at the cover of the book, like, after watching the show, you can tell it was that style of book that was going to be, like, porn with very little plot. Like, that kind of book. And you know, I'll be honest, after watching the show, yeah, it very much felt like that. Like, this sounds horrible, like, without, like, if you take out the 2 of them sleeping together, what really happened in the show? Like, Ilya had the whole thing with his family, and then Shane accepted that he was gay. That was about it. Oh, he also dated... not Sammy Landry, Rose Landry. 2 very different women. But yeah, the thing is, I feel like... I watched Heated Rivalry and it was good. Like, that's what I would say. I'd say it was good. Like, I didn't personally gag over it. I think had I not been, like, so spoiled by Thai BL, I would have probably gagged over, you know, Heated Rivalry. Because I watch so much BL content, so many, like, I keep referring to Thai BL just because GMMTV puts out so much and they are, like, the main ones that I watch. But, like, because the BL industry is so large in Asia, that has meant that, like, I feel as though the shows they produce have needed to evolve further than just 2 men falling in love. Like, don't get me wrong, I love seeing 2 men fall in love. It's just that they now need to have some kind of concept alongside it. You know, like I mentioned Day to Death with Jung Dunk. That is like the concept of it, Cynthia Erivo. It's like the 2 Jung and Dunk playing detectives trying to solve this case of like the serial killer who's murdering this entire group of friends who have all done rotted shit. But they also kiss each other on the side. You know, you like at the minute, again, just to date this video, love Burnout Syndrome. Due as Peem has enchanted me. Like, I have watched, you know, Leap Day and F4, so I have seen Due in other things, but something about Due in Burnout Syndrome, ooh, Miss Mammoth, that is a different league of man. But yeah, with Burnout Syndrome, like, obviously it's an off-gun show, so off-gun are going to end up together. But, like, you've got the whole love triangle going on, and then you've also got Gun playing Jira, who is basically playing Ko, played by Off's puppet. Because Ko is the only one who appreciates Jira's art. Like, there's something going on outside of the boy kissing. And since I've gone on like probably a 10-minute tangent, I am still talking about the 3 GMMTV translated novels. This all leads to the fact the Thai section was actually relevant. I don't know how relevant Heated Rivalry was, but like it's the fact that the GMM books, they have something going on outside of the BL. You know, in Last Twilight, you've got Mockinday trying to find their independence. In The Heart Killers, you've got the whole police investigation. And then in Tempo, Tem and Po are both like respectively trying to learn what their form of good love is, while the plot essentially talks about parasocial relationships between fans and idols. As a very minor aside, to talk about Heated Rivalry for another second, to be honest, the fact that I've talked about it so much, I can probably shove it in the thumbnail as a buzzword, and I can probably shove it in the tags and description, so hell yeah. I saw a tweet that was something like, Heated Rivalry was Crave Canada's, like, most successful show, like, the biggest thing ever on Crave Canada, and someone responded, like, well, yeah, obviously, because the only other thing that Crave have made is Canada's Drag Race. And like, does that have anything to do with anything? No, but it did make me laugh. I mean, to be fair, I've mentioned Sammy Landry, you know, already. As of me recording this, the finale of Canada's Drag Race is today. PM and Sammy Landry are not going to win. They are not making the top two, just saying that now. Like, the top two will be Van Gogh and Ebony LaBelle. I'm team Ebony LaBelle, so I want her to win, but like, I wouldn't be upset if Van Gogh won, to be honest. I would just rather Ebony win. But ultimately, you know, to get back to talking about these books that I am meant to be talking about, to me, they felt more like merch than they did real books. And I know that's a wild thing to say conceptually, since they are all books in the literal sense, and I did like read all three of them and the plots did all make sense, but it's more so that the covers were all screen grabs from the show. And it's like, you know, when once again in the West, when a book gets made into a TV show or a movie, Love, Simon is like a really good example as well, that like, it was originally Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. I mean, it still is, but like, when the Love, Simon movie came out, there was like a version of the book that had Nick Robinson on the front, and did I buy it? Yes, I did, because I loved it and I wanted to support like the book and the movie, because I wanted more gay stuff to get made. So yeah, it's very much that tea. And I mean, I have also read other books that have been, you know, translated from other languages. Like, the ones I could immediately think of were Convenience Store Woman. I don't remember the woman who wrote it, but I also read, I know she's Japanese, and the book was translated from Japanese, and then I also read Ghost Town by Kevin Chen, which I think I talked about on this channel, you know, that was Taiwanese. And then I also read The Last Children of Tokyo, which was ages ago, and I think that was Japanese as well. But like, I do think all three of those were released through like, I hate saying proper publishers, but like proper publishers rather than just GMMTV. So like, they probably had, you know, proper translators to actually, like, whose job it was to work on the translations. But to be honest, considering how big GMM and GMMTV is, like, they wang out English subs on the BL show, so they could have like spared people to do the novels as well, I'm sure, or they could have like reached out to people to like properly translate them. Anyway, I suppose, I mean, I'm not that mad considering I did enjoy all three of the shows and I was fan enough of them to like buy the books of all of them, so like, I can't even lie and pretend. Yeah, like, I literally cannot even pretend I don't have a tattoo inspired by Last Twilight. To be fair, I've got several from Vice Versa as well. Like, I've got Mr. Man on my wrist there, Mr. Man on my wrist there. I've got, like, from My Love Mix-Up, I've literally got the eraser that has Ida's name on it. And then, hold on, I've literally got the smile from Bad Buddy. So, like, I cannot say that I'm not a PL fan. Anyway, this video was a mess. It was mostly just like a train of thought that I had that I just conceptually wanted to talk about. You know, have you read any specific BL books? Have you read any of the ones that I've mentioned? Have you watched Heated Rivalry as well? And what did you think of Heated Rivalry? You know, as much as I said that it was just ... good, I did still enjoy it. And I'm still definitely not criticizing the fact that, like, a queer TV show has blown up as massively as Heated Rivalry did. But yeah, I think it's more so just like the GMMTV books were more so just a catalyst for this video, so that's it. You're welcome. You know, like the video if you like. I'm a shit person at making YouTube videos, so I just do not tell you to engage until the very end when most people stopped watching. But like, subscribe, comment, please. XD, XOXO Gossip Girl, #Team Ebony LaBelle.